I don't know. You might have to cut out this next comment I'm about to say.
All right, well, maybe. Your life is in my hands. Go ahead.
So, I've been watching a lot of shows on Hulu, right? And Snowfall is one of the shows that I watch on Hulu, right? And so you get like the same commercials over and over again. And a lot of them are for medication, right? You get a lot of medication commercials.
Diabetes?
No, not diabetes. I haven't seen a single diabetes commercial.
Okay.
But you get a lot of different commercials, and they all have the same sort of feel. Until you get to the commercial that's for a treatment for sickle cell. And it has its completely different feel to it. And I'm like, dude.
What do you mean by elaborate, Mike? What do you mean by feel? What do you mean?
Like the music is way like it's way more. It's still like corporate bullshit, right?
But gets
it's
like R&B,
a little bit more R&B,
a little bit more soulful,
and like
soulful sickle cell. Is that what you're saying?
Soulful sickle cell.
Let your sickle cell glow.
In a world of bad movies, two follically challenged men will stop at nothing to share their opinions of them. Their wives are tired of listening, but are you? This isn't the podcast you deserve, but it's the one you need. Prepare yourself for Bald Guys and Bad Movies.
Welcome to episode 4 of Bald Guys and Bad Movies. We're gonna review Demolition Man.
Demolition Man. We're doing a classic.
Before we jump into it, you have a lot of fondness for this movie.
I love this movie, dude. It came out in 93, but it's kind of funny because if you ask Siri when it came out, it said 97, and I was like, what? This didn't come out in 97? The like...
Wasn't that the year it begins in 97, right?
It begins in 96.
Huh.
I was like, what the hell? It can't be 97. This makes no sense, right?
Is Siri from the future? The Demolition Man future?
Siri was just fucking up that day. She was just off her game or something, man. I don't know what was going on.
Siri says, go to hell. Wait. Am I the only one that says thank you to Siri? Do you say thank you?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm just like when she's giving me
why
way
do you
too many.
Do it? Why do you
I don't
do
know.
it?
I just do it sometimes. Sometimes it's sarcastic, like thank you, Siri, and other times it's like okay, lady, like just get on with it, like you know, or she's giving me directions. I'm like okay, whatever you say.
I mean, part of me is hoping that when the machines take over, she's the mother AI, and she'll remember that one thank you.
I hope so. I hope
sparing me and my family's life.
Yeah.
Maybe you and your family too.
Maybe.
I could call in some favors for you.
I feel like we should be reviewing Terminator instead this episode with this lead up.
Well, this does kind of feel like, I'm not even gonna say low budget. This was produced by Joel Silver.
Dude, this is huge budget. Actually,
I know.
Louis D'Esposito was one of the producers on it. The dude who did all the Marvel movies. Like there's
the
big
recent
Marvel all
movies?
the recent ones. He's Louis D'Esposito. I saw the name and I was like, oh crap. I was like, I'm pretty sure he did all the Marvel movies. I looked it up and I was right.
Does the name Joel Silver mean anything to you?
Yes, the name Joel Silver means something to me.
That's more important to me.
Okay.
Joel Silver was the producer of my childhood, man.
Okay, well, I'm just saying is that, yes, this is a big budget movie. It had Wesley Snipes and Sylvester Stallone and Sandra Bullock. I mean, like, three of the biggest names at the time. You know, she had just come off of Speed and something else. You know, she was huge.
This was right after Speed, huh?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, this is like right after Speed.
The beautiful Sandra Bullock.
I love Sandra Bullock. She's great. And she's great in everything, you know?
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know, Joel Silver's producer for every manly, testosterone, sweaty, masculine movie. If he was a body part, he'd be a bicep. That's how fucking badass Joel Silver is.
I was thinking a different body part, but whatever.
or that. He's got to be in the Hall of Fame of producers, man.
Dude, he's like epic, dude movie. Like, yeah, he's definitely up there.
You will not guess the third fucking movie he produced. You'll never guess it.
Okay.
You'll never guess it.
Then tell me what
you want
to
try to guess?
Sure.
Made in 1980.
1980?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not going to know, man. I wasn't even alive.
I was, and I didn't fucking know this. Xanadu.
Xanadu.
Yeah. Nice. Joel Silver's Xanadu. He should remake it.
I feel like I think my dad might have worked on Xanadu.
He probably did. We'll get into that one day. Mike's dad literally worked on every movie ever made. He was DP on one of Chaplin's movies, right? The Tramp.
Chaplin's movies. What movie are we doing again? Oh yeah,
we're doing Demolition Man.
Just kidding. I remember. Demolition Man. Yes, you were saying I had fond memories of this movie because I do because I loved it. I remember my uncle saw it and he was like just talking about how dumb it was, and I was like, really? I was like, okay. And then I was like, so I went into it like thinking, oh, it's gonna be dumb, and I watched it. I was like, this is brilliant. I'm like, this is a great movie. It's so funny. And it's like it's irreverent, you know what I mean? It doesn't take itself too seriously. It has fun with everything it needs to have fun with.
Since you have such passion for it, I think you should cue it up and give us a brief
little. Okay, yeah. So Demolition Man, the cop of cops, the coppiest cop in the world, who like blows up multi-million-dollar mini malls to like rescue children who are being ransomed for like $20,000. That's one thing that he does. And then he's going after Simon Phoenix, played by Wesley.
Before you get to Simon Phoenix, I just want to say real quick, it's mind-boggling, the police brutality that was acceptable back then. Like, not to be a downer on a mindless action movie, but as I was watching it, I'm thinking, okay, just beat the shit out of people, throw them through windows. Like, could you make a movie like that these days? I guess that's the question.
Well, I was more thinking about that. I watched it last night, and there's a part where Wesley Snipes is like he goes to like get a gun, right? Because it's a future, and the only place you can find a gun is in a museum. Mm-hmm. And he walks into the museum, and you see this like Chinese family walking by.
I know the part
in full on like so it like. Or when he sees them walk by, he goes, "Oh!" And me and my wife look at each other like, "Damn, they did that."
It's so racist. I'm gonna beep out what Mike just said.
But worse than the fact that they have the bad guy, right, the villain, saying this, so you can kind of be like, "Well, he's a jerk. He kills people, right? He would totally do something like that." If you look at the outfits they're wearing, that's the racist part. Like, that is the even more, it's like so...
Wasn't it the straw hats?
It's like literally the classic straw hat. It's insane. It is absolutely insane.
Anyway, I'm sorry. You were about to say Simon Phoenix. Go for it. I will not
Simon Phoenix is like the ultimate bad guy. He's like taken over, these LA blocks, turned it into a total war zone. Everything's demolished and stuff. And he's taken these civilians hostage. Sylvester Stallone drops out of a helicopter, not even on like a line that he can like slow himself down on. It's just like a giant rope. Like, it doesn't even like bounce. It's not even like a bungee, like he's not even like a bungee jumping thing. Like, it literally, like, if he had done that, he would just it would have just broken his back.
Mike, elasticity is for pussies, man.
Exactly. He's like, I don't do 1,000 sit-ups a day for nothing, okay?
Yo! As he falls. Speaking of ropes, the veins on those muscles.
Dude, there's shots when he's like when he's like in the cryo chamber, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that was a ball. Like,
were you looking? Because hey,
well, I'm just saying, man. It's right there. It's
right. Is that his real balls, or is it that sack? There's a sack that they put on, right? Like, that looks like ball sack, not sack. So.
Yeah. I mean, ball sack, right? Not like ball sack, not the sack of the Anyways, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sock. Not
he had a sock on there, but you know that they were trying to...
The flesh sock.
Exactly.
Which still sounds disgusting, but...
But either way, so Simon Phoenix has these civilians. Sylvester Stallone breaks in to get them out. The fight ensues. They jump out as Simon Phoenix blows up the entire block, and they find a bunch of dead bodies, right? And they're like, oh, and he's like, oh, I told him I had the civilians in there, and he didn't care. He just said blow them all up anyways. Or whatever, yeah, because they're going to believe this mass murderer over the cop who just risked his life to go save these people. But anyway,
I guess, and futuristic 1996, that's all it takes. No trial, no nothing.
Exactly. All it takes is like the worst of the worst human being to rat out the coppiest cop in the world. They both get convicted. They both get frozen in this cryo prison. And then for some reason, Simon Phoenix gets thawed out. We don't know why. He gets out.
And not just thawed out. He's thawed out with like knowledge.
Yeah, but we don't know that yet, right? We just know that he's speaking Spanish and he knows a lot more kung fu than he apparently did when he went in, and he starts going on a killing rampage in the future. And the cops are like, I don't know what the hell to do. By this point, they're all a bunch of pansies. Crime has disappeared, and everyone is the most, how do we put this? The most polite and considerate and kind person you've ever seen in your life, right?
You know that the phrase that kept the phrase or the framing, the joke that kept rotating in my mind was,
what?
This is what happens when you defund the police.
This is what happens.
And even though I just said that, that's not what fucking defund the police means, folks. Okay, but but I can imagine this is the nightmare that people that think defund the police means literally, like, weaken the police force to the point where
let's put it this way. If we defunded the police and it turned the entire society into considerate, thoughtful, kind human beings, I'm all for it, man. I don't care. Like, if the cop are a bunch of pansies, that's fine. If they don't have to, you know what I mean? If they don't have to deal with any violent situations.
They're pansies because there's no crime.
Exactly.
Like, they've eradicated crime.
They've eradicated crime, right? To the point where everything's illegal, right? It's a fascist state. It's a complete and utter fascist state because you can't have salt because it's bad for you. You can't smoke because it's bad for you, and therefore it's anything that's bad for you is deemed illegal, right?
I love the part where 187 popped up and no one knew what it was.
Yeah, they're like, 187, what
is that? Let's look it up in the archives.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, Sandra Bullock is a cop in the future, and she's obsessed with the 90s, right? She has like a Lethal Weapon 3 poster on her wall. Like, she's just super into the 90s, and she just hates the fact that she's a cop and nothing happens, and she's just aching to get some action, you know what I mean?
Literally, when she says that, the movie cuts to what? Simon Phoenix
like popping some dude's eye out, using it as like for the retinal scanner or something. They're like, we have no idea what to do. In fact, there's a line where Rob Schneider, who plays like the receptionist at the cop at the one of his lines when he gets a phone call, he was like, thanks for calling the San Angeles police emergency line. If you'd like to have an automated response, press 1 now.
I thought that was funny.
He has some great lines. He has another line where like they like watch Simon Phoenix like kicking the crap out of these cops, and he was like, and one person's like, what brutality? And he's like, we're cops. We're not trained to deal with this kind of brutality.
The script was very funny.
It's really good, dude.
Like it's still
a really
holds up.
good movie.
It still holds
totally
up.
does. It totally does.
I mean, the wit, it was witty for the time.
Yeah.
Right? And it's still like, I mean, it
still holds up.
Yeah. But go ahead. Keep going.
So
Simon Phoenix.
They have no idea how to deal with this guy. And the Cocteau, the guy who basically created this utopian society, fascist utopian society, mind you, tells the cops to do whatever they need to in their power to apprehend Simon Phoenix. They talk to the old guy who actually knew John Spartan, who was played by Sylvester Stallone, and he was like, "This is how we apprehended the guy." And so, luckily, go figure, he's a popsicle too. We could thaw him out to go catch the guy, right? It all works out in the end. And so they thaw out Sylvester Stallone, John Spartan, and then, havoc ensues while he goes to collect Simon Phoenix.
Can we just briefly talk about the wonderful names? John Spartan.
John Spartan, yeah, absolutely.
Simon Phoenix.
There's some great names, dude. Absolutely.
Muscle McElroy. John Longbow. All right,
the movie ensues. You find out later on that basically Cocteau was the guy who thawed out Simon Phoenix, the mastermind of their society.
Wait, did you say Cocteau?
Cocteau, that's his name.
That's the main bad guy's name? Cocteau?
That's the main guy. Yeah, the guy the main guy.
The main guy who changed society into
that changed into what Simon Phoenix calls it, a pussy whooped version of itself. I think that's one of his lines. But yeah, he ends to find out later that he thought out Simon Phoenix to get rid of this guy, Edgar Friendly. Edgar Friendly was his name, right? These names are perfect, right? Played by what's his name? Played by
Dennis Leary.
Dennis Leary.
Now you can tell this is
Dennis Leary era,
because
dude.
they work in a classic Leary
Parts
style
from his
rant.
Bit, absolutely. Yeah. It's so good.
Because you're not paying for Dennis Leary unless you get that in there at that point, right, in his career.
Absolutely. And so that's why they thought out Simon Phoenix, because he wanted him to kill Edgar Friendly. So the scraps were like these people who didn't like this fascist society, and they ended up going underground into the sewers, and there's this whole subculture of these people called scraps, where it's, there's no food, they're eating rat burgers and stuff, which apparently tasted pretty good from the look on John Spartan's face. I mean,
and also we can't skip over this since we're talking about food. In the restaurant wars,
in the franchise wars,
the franchise that wrote the biggest check to Joel Silver Productions, Taco Bell.
Now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
Yeah, all restaurants are Taco Bell.
Lord knows I could go for a burrito.
And dude, I think I remember this promotion with Taco Bell.
Hell yeah.
With this movie.
Hell yeah, dude. Dude, they got Dan Cortez, the guy who used to do like Yo MTV Sports from like back in the day, like playing the piano, like playing the Jolly Green Giant song and shit.
And that's because there's no music. People listen to commercials. Retro commercials like Armour Hot Dog.
Veggies from the garden. Garden in the valley. Valley of the Jolly Green Giant. Like, it's literally a dude on a piano sitting in this bougie ass Taco Bell playing the Jolly Green Giant theme song.
And somehow in this utopia, they've developed a better way to wipe your ass. 3 shells.
3 seashells. Another good situation with Rob Schneider when he was like, "Yeah, I'm sorry to tell you, you had a toilet paper in the bathroom there, and where they're supposed to is like, the 3C, he doesn't know how to use 3 seashells." You're like, "Well, sorry to break it to you, but where you're supposed to have the toilet paper, you got 3 seashells sitting there." And Rob Schneider's like, he doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. He doesn't know how to use the 3 seashells. And then Sylvester Stallone gives him this look, and he's like, I could see how that could be confusing.
and I like the payoff. I think it was the same scene or close to it, because every time you curse, you get like fine, right?
Yeah.
And a paper will slide out of some wall somewhere.
Yep.
So Stallone, he's like, "Okay, hold on a second. Before we go, I gotta go take care of something." And he goes over there. He's like, "Cup. Fuck, ass, son of a bitch. And it's like pumping out paper.
You no good cocksucker, ass face,
motherfucker. And then he grabs the whole water.
He's just popping out all these papers one after one, and he pulls them out. He's like, so much for the 3 seashells.
Yeah, right.
See you in a few minutes.
I thought that was extremely clever. I'm like, okay, movie, that's old movie. You still got it.
Did you play? Did you play Cyberpunk 2077?
I played some of it.
Well, if you go into the bathrooms in Cyberpunk, they have the 3 seashells sitting on.
No shit, really?
Yep.
Can you use them? They're just there.
No.
Well, that mystery, because the mystery's never solved. They never.
Oh, you could Google that shit. There's probably a
someone's figured it out.
how-to video somewhere. No, I mean that's basically the whole movie. You find out that he thaws him out to kill Edgar Friendly, and he tries, fails. John Spartan comes back. They fight each other, and Phoenix dies. Spoiler alert. Go figure. But that's it. I mean, that's the movie. Like, we can get into the nitty gritty, but that's basically the movie.
It's an action movie, right?
Yeah, and it's great. It's a great action movie.
It's a smartly written action movie. What was with Wesley Snipes' outfit when he first escaped from the prison? Mm-hmm. Do you remember the toy?
Oh, the overalls.
My Buddy. You remember the My Buddy?
Yeah.
It looks like he was wearing a My Buddy jumper or a Chucky outfit. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's probably some deleted scene somewhere where he stole it from someone.
During that first fight scene when he's fighting the cops at like the phone booth thingy, the like, I don't know if you noticed, but if you listen to the music there, it's like there's this horrible, like, weird sort of like trying to be futuristic. Like, go back and listen to the music.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it's fucking stupid.
Well,
dude.
It's the like, thing they used to do with any urban black character. We got to change this. It's like KFC. They have a chicken commercial for black folks. They gotta have the Luther Vandross guy.
Oh,
come on over, folks, and have yourself some nice greasy chicken. KFC. It's a Domino's night. They can't have the white guy. They can have the white guy say, "Hey, come on over and have some pizza pie, guys." Well, yeah, it's like what they used to do back in the day. Hey, here's a black character. Let's change the music up in the movie because it's like this terrible scratching. Is that the music you're talking about?
It's a whole bunch of like, what is it?
Beeps and boops and
yeah, beeps and boops and what they're called, orchestra hits or something.
Yeah.
Like tons of them, and I'm just like, dude, this is so. Oh my god.
I love the sound of that gun, and there's no way for me to describe it. There's this distinct. All the guns. All the guns in 80s and up to mid 90s. All of them sound like fucking cannons, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Like nowadays, everyone wants to go more realistic, and that's fine. But man, I miss those days of in the slow mo with two, the jumping. Oh
yeah,
and we got two, not one but two Stallone running from explosion scenes, and with the.
I fucking love Sylvester Stallone.
At the beginning of the movie and for the finale. There you go. You got to bookend it, right? Like, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and then she's saying, I love Sandra Bullock's character because she's always saying these like sayings, but she always gets them wrong. And like one point, she's
let's go blow this guy.
Let's go blow this guy. And she gets in the car and he's like, away. Blow this guy away. And she's like, whatever. They go drive off. And then she says, but the second one is, he really licked his ass.
Kicked his ass.
Kicked his ass. Do you notice she has like no eyebrows? Her eyebrow, like the 90s thing they had like this like pencil thin eyebrows going on.
Wait. Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, okay, so you noticed it too?
Yeah. And I was like,
okay.
was that her style back then? Like in Speed?
That was the style back then, dude. I remember. I even mentioned to it, like, they show her the first time, and I'm sitting there next to my wife. I'm like, damn, dude, look at those eyebrows. She's like, I know, they're horrible. Like this thin little thing, man.
You sure it wasn't a futuristic part of the movie, or that was just
No,
that was the
I'm
fashion?
pretty sure that was
back
the
then?
fashion. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I probably should have looked at chicks' faces back then. I would have noticed.
well, I mean, what were you, like 18 or something?
Yeah. I wasn't focused on that part of the anatomy. Yeah, if something else was trimmed, I still wouldn't have seen it because I was getting no play. So. Oh, the sex scene was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, that's great. How does she tee it up? She's like, it's well documented, the link between sex and violence. Not that there's related to one another, but there's definitely a correlation. And after tonight, seeing the state that I'm in, I wanted to know if you would like to have sex.
He's like, right.
And he's like,
well, sure. Yeah.
What? It's like, would you like to have sex? With you? Uh-huh. Right now? Like, yeah. He's like, yeah. Oh, the best part, though, she comes out with the little box with the two helmets, right? And she's wearing a robe, and he's like, oh, I don't know what's going on, right? You see that look on his face. She puts it down. She's like, here you go. He puts it on his head, and she puts hers on, and then she takes a little towel and gives it to him and puts the towel on his lap. And she's like, here you go.
Wait, I think I missed that part. Is that
You missed that?
Is that for cleanup?
Yeah, it's for cleanup. You didn't notice that part?
I totally missed that detail.
Yeah, she gives him a little towel and like gives him this little look, like as she's giving him the towel.
I was probably
It's so
too
funny.
busy staring at the vein in his arms. He was sleeveless in that scene. Like, Jesus Christ! If I had a vein like that, man, I'd be sleeveless all the time. And let me just say though, I'm gonna say this. You know, Stallone was Stallone. Stallone is Stallone, right?
He's Stallone, yeah.
So in the movie, because I'm watching it with a critical mind, I'm thinking, who
Right.
else could have played this? Because someone played this a little better. It was so well written. So well
No
written.
way. It's written for him. Who could play it better than Stallone? He's so good in it.
I don't know.
But
But
who are you thinking?
no one. But
That's what I'm saying.
It did, but this is why I'm saying it. Wesley Snipes stole that fucking movie, dude. Wesley Snipes is amazing in that movie.
He is.
He is so fucking good. Like, because Stallone is Stallone, right? You're casting
Right.
Stallone. The villain, I'm not saying it wasn't written for Wesley Snipes. Likely it probably wasn't, but there's so much that I can tell Snipes brought that is pure Wesley Snipes. That attitude, that flavor.
It was kind of like Wesley Snipes, like cranked up to 11. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's what I thought was kind of, because like a lot of times when I think Wesley Snipes, I think like Blade, which is a little bit later Wesley Snipes, and or like New Jack City, and I feel like he's kind of out there, but it's always a little bit more subdued. You
Right.
know what I mean? Then again, Blade was kind of like his Nolan Dark Knight like voice, you know?
Right.
You know what I mean? He had that sort of growl thing going on. But this was like fun, over the top. Like it was like the Joker. You know what I mean? Like I felt like there was a bit of like that just crazy. He was just batshit crazy, and I loved that about it.
And it was funny you mentioned Blade because I was watching it, and this was several years before Blade.
Yeah.
You know, Snipes, I think he's a black belt. I know he knows martial arts. And you could tell in a lot of those scenes, he's fucking doing those stunts,
Yeah, he's a
right?
badass.
Those moves. So in Blade was a very stoic character.
Mm-hmm.
But there were pockets of, and I think this is what endeared a lot of people to Blade, where, you know, the stoic character, the cover broke, and the brother underneath was like, motherfucker, you out of your damn mind?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that attitude popped out. Which made me like, oh, I love this guy. This guy's like a real dude. And I feel like that's a Snipes thing. Only Snipes could have brought that flavor to it, right? and not overdo it, at least with that character. Like you said, this one, it was like...
It was all that.
They probably just told him, fucking go for it. Like, whatever you want to do. And I felt like he probably improvised a whole lot of shit, because that just felt like Wesley Snipes.
It was good.
I'm not
really
saying
good.
Stallone didn't do a good performance. Stallone delivered what you want from a Stallone movie. But the good guy's only as good as the bad guy. And
Yeah, but I feel like together they did such a great job. I felt like they were both such perfect personalities to play against each other in this particular movie. He's called the Demolition Man, right? But he's actually kind of a down-to-earth, kind of chill dude when he's not blowing shit up, and trying...
Yeah. I mean,
You know what I mean? And whereas Wesley Snipes is this like cranked up to 11, super hyper kind of crazy dude who just wants to see the fucking world burn. You know what I mean? And hopefully get some fucking coin and ass out of it. You know what I mean?
But I mean, it's like it's not anything we haven't seen him do before.
Sure.
And maybe that's it. And I think, especially at that point in Snipes' career, I don't think I had seen him do anything like that. And now, in hindsight, looking back, that's the most over the top, colorful character I've ever seen him do. I don't know if he's done anything since then like that.
Yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like, that is not classic Wesley Snipes. You know what I mean?
But that's what makes
I kind of liked about it.
Yeah, that's what makes it unique and stand out.
Exactly.
Stallone is doing classic Stallone.
Exactly.
So there was no real surprise for him there. He's, he fires off the one-liners or whatever, but that's his job to do that. I mean, anytime Simon Phoenix was on screen, it was just a joy to watch. I mean, not saying the rest of the movie wasn't, but for me personally, Wesley was chewing the scenery so hard, and it feels like he was having a great time making this movie. So what are we rating Demolition Man?
It's a solid 4 bicep veins out of 5, I would say. Bicep vein pops out of 5. Absolutely. I'll do the weird rating system this week.
I was gonna say you stole my line, man. I was about to say that.
I knew you were.
I think I'll give it 3 shells out of 5. It's a solid 3. It's a solid 3 out of 5 for me. 3 unused shells, all right, before it's been used. They're clean, all right? 3 unused shells, yeah. Oh, that's even more controversial these days, huh? Holy crap.
What?
Have you ever seen Adventures of Ford Fairlane?
No. Who is
Andrew Dice Clay?
No. I don't think I have.
He got canceled in 1990.
Yeah, that says a lot. Do you remember what Hillary Clinton was talking about in 1990? Like, oh my God. Like,